off and on during the night. Would that have been?
So that's a really common sound for juvenile owlets. And if you had it through the winter, so
I'm sorry, through the summer.
Oh,
so it would have been like if they were born in June. It continued up until it got really cold, and then it quit.
Yeah, let's talk later, but a lot of different owl chicks sound similar to that.
Okay.
But there are some birds out there that sound like that too.
In the night. So
Yeah.
it's definitely night.
Yeah.
And what does the adult
What do they sound like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good question.
You read my mind, Jen.
Oh.
Okay, so this is the male. So that's a chick. The first one was the male. And again, that's a chick. We'll get the female here shortly. That's the female. Okay, so if anybody ever asks you, well, how do you know if it was a male or female? With great grays, you can tell. So the male, he's got that low kind of 6 note, just hoot, 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 hoot. And the female, she's more delicate and a better singer, a lot like Julie is, and has that whoop, whoop sound. And then the screech is the little chick. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so hope we filled the money jar up there. This is close to Eden Valley Guest Ranch up in the block of Mount Hole. Actually, it's on private ground that this nest is. And again, nesting habitat. We're going to continue with that. And this is a platform. This is a natural platform. Notice the leaners, okay? Most people would walk right by this stand. It's fairly close to the road, but the most important thing about this whole thing is this old guy right here. This old, I think it's a larch tree, western larch that died, and this is a fairly old tree. It broke off here. This is a northern flying squirrel hole. I put my peeper in there. And it almost came out of my pants because all of a sudden I see this thing in my viewfinder, and it scared me as much as I scared him. And that northern flying squirrel was in there the year that this nest was not active. And but anyways, this nest broke off, has a cavity in it similar to a big salad bowl. Perfect habitat for a great gray, and fairly close to open meadows. This is also, if anybody knows, the Wilcox Fire. This is close to the Wilcox Fire as well, so a lot of young regenerating stands, so more open that they can hunt, perch on limbs like this, and hunt into old fire scars as well. This, most people would walk right by, right? You don't really see anything. Notice this right here. Okay, kind of a salad bowl platform dish here, and that's one owlet that fledged there that year. And go back to this. You don't get this very often. These old guys, they don't last very long. And so these are really special for us to hold on to in the landscape. If you're a homeowner or something like that, some people would like to see this in their firewood pile, but I would rather see this standing because I'm thinking this is probably 200 to 300-year-old tree, if not older. It broke off about 65 feet up. I could never get, after they fledged, I could never get my peeper up because it was so tall. But they fledged in that and were successful. So this is a really special tree out in the forest that we like to retain, because that's what you get if they're able to stand out there over time.
Wow.
Let's talk a little bit more about nesting habitat. Woodcutter, this is really good firewood, right? And I jokingly say that because I see it time and time again. And not that every tree that looks like this isn't a good firewood tree, because mistletoe, and that's what these clumps are, it's dwarf mistletoe in these clumps. It stops the really good growth of trees, so they hardly ever get very big. And they infest the other younger trees, and the younger trees just kind of do nothing, and you get these big wolfy things and these little spindly trees. So if this is my mistletoe kick, mistletoe is good for the forest if it's in moderation, but just like any disease, if it's left to take off rampant, you would get this really unhealthy forest. So a good combination, of disease and healthy trees is what we want. And this is on National Forest ground. And one of the landowners, I know him really well, he says, "Hey, Matt, I've got some great grays on my house." And bing, the light goes off. It's March. And I said, "Keep me updated in a month." So he comes back and says, "Hey, Matt, the great grays are still there." And now it's May, and I'm getting really excited because I know that they're starting to really hone in. And I said, "Well, go out and find the nest for me." So, lo and behold, most people, again, would walk right by this tree, not think anything of it. And right there is a chick. Now, this platform, the nest is actually right here. I don't believe this was actually ever a abandoned nest. I think this was a pure mistletoe clump that just happened to be what they wanted. And everybody's seen a mistletoe clump before. They grow perfect flat tops a lot of times. And if you ever see one, just take a look up because you might see this guy poking up. Also underneath, look for stuff like whitewash, feathers, and so forth. For the most part, they won't defecate very much right around the nest, and that's to alleviate any predation and bring predators into the nest. But I've got a picture or a video that shows the owlets will start coming out to the edge and defecating over right out a week before they fledge. So they just can't hold it in anymore. Female, they won't defecate or regurgitate pellets anywhere close to the nest for the most part. There are some old abandoned nests. That old one I showed you earlier did have some pellets underneath it. So if you're on your property or out in the forest and you want to see some evidence, you see that there might be a tree, you think there might be a nest under, just take a look at your feet and look around for owl pellets. I think everybody's probably dissected a pellet in some of their science classes. So a little gray regurgitated pellet with bones in it. Or you might find some whitewash, which is looks like seagull poop or something like that, underneath the tree.